Just when the world thought the post-military chapter for BTS would bring a lull, the reality unfolding across the Pacific is more electrifying than anyone imagined. The meeting between Jin and Jungkook in America isn't just a reunion. It's a signal, a pulse, one that could be hinting at a shift far more powerful than any teaser photo or press release could ever convey. In a nation 6,000 miles away from their homeland, two of BTS's most beloved figures walk the sidewalks of Los Angeles, not with fanfare, but with purpose. Observers noted how their demeanor was almost too calm, as if the calmness itself was hiding a storm. Was it a carefully curated image, or did the moment mark something profoundly genuine? Cameras didn't capture staged fan service. They caught stolen glances, a clasped shoulder, a laugh that disappeared into the California night air. Jin, just months into his post-military freedom, exuded quiet strength. Jungkook, the golden magne, bore a kind of fierce focus not often seen since his early days in the spotlight. The look in their eyes didn't say vacation. It said, "We're building something." Speculation surged when eagle-eyed fans connected the dots. Jungkook's recent creative sessions in the States, Jin's sudden absence from local soul events, and HYB's uncharacteristic silence about their movements. In a fandom accustomed to structured updates, this unpredictability only deepened the suspense. And then came the Fallon rumor, not just any talk show. The Tonight Show has long been a global platform for K-pop icons. BTS's appearances there have historically marked major transitions. New albums, new messages, new eras. So when murmurs began that both Jin and Jungkook had been spotted near NBC studios, 1,000 theories ignited in milliseconds. Would they perform together? Would this be the setting for a shocking comeback announcement? Or is there an entirely different narrative playing out? Consider the emotional landscape. The BTS members have walked through military service, solo careers, global scrutiny, and personal evolution. This meeting between Jin and Jungkook isn't simply logistical, it's emotional. It's about reconnecting with each other as artists, as brothers, as survivors of the very world they helped build. Some fans recall the tearful farewell Jungkook gave to Jin at the army base. Others remember the way Jin always quietly checked on Jungkook during early BTS days when the youngest member struggled with fame. Their bond is deeper than most idol friendships. It's not built on trend. It's forged in shared silence, pain, laughter, and decades of unspoken loyalty. And in a move that seems almost too perfectly timed, insiders suggest there may be music, new, raw, and emotionally charged, recorded right in Los Angeles. While neither artist has confirmed this, engineers at a private studio in Burbank allegedly witnessed vocal takes that brought even seasoned producers to tears. One unnamed staffer described it as a fusion of pain and power, like someone healing in real time through music. So, what does this mean for ARMY? The fandom, always quick to connect signals, is already preparing for an announcement. There's an unmistakable pattern forming. BTS never does anything by accident. Every move, every post, every absence speaks volumes. And when two of its most pivotal members go off-script, it's rarely for leisure. Could the US reunion mean a soft launch for the next BTS chapter? The truth, as always, hides in plain sight. Jungkook has been speaking more recently about unity, brotherhood, and gratitude. Jin, often reserved, surprised fans by being emotionally candid during a brief Weverse livestream just weeks ago. He spoke not about fame, but about missing those moments with certain people. Could this meeting be his way of reclaiming those moments? And there's more. Reports surfaced that the duo visited a private event at a music industry executive's mansion. While details remain scarce, several major media outlets confirmed that the guest list included representatives from Spotify, Universal Music Group, and a well-known film producer. BTS has long teased cinematic aspirations. Could this reunion also tie into a larger visual project? A documentary? A fictional drama? Or perhaps a feature-length film that tells their story from their own lens? Jungkook recently trademarked a phrase in English. Jin registered a production label. The timing? Identical. It's impossible to ignore the sheer magnitude of these breadcrumbs. For every theory dismissed, Another takes its place, richer, more emotional, more plausible. The reality is, Jin and Jungkook didn't just reunite in the US to catch up. They met with intention. And that intention might change the very direction of BTS's next phase. We've watched these boys become men. We've seen them conquer charts, break records, and redefine pop culture. But what we might be witnessing now, quietly, without announcement, is their rebirth. And not just as idols, but as storytellers, as visionaries. They don't need fireworks or viral challenges to announce it. All they need is one look at each other on a Los Angeles street to remind the world, BTS was never just a band. It was, and is, a revolution. And revolutions rarely end. They evolve when the lights flicker on the Fallon stage and Jin and Jungkook step into view. Don't just expect a song. Expect a message. Expect a shift. Expect to feel something you haven't felt since the first time you heard the words, "Hello, we are BTS." And ask yourself this, what if the most powerful BTS moment yet wasn't in the past, but waiting to unfold right now? In the heart of America, stay with us. This story isn't over. It's only just begun. And the darkness of anticipation. There's a tension unlike any before. Not the kind that makes you anxious, but the kind that makes you sit up straight, wondering if you're about to witness something unforgettable. This is what the air feels like now. Charged, suspenseful, pregnant with possibility. And at the center of it, Jin and Jungkook, standing quietly in a city that never really sleeps, holding in their hands something the world has not yet seen. But a week after the first paparazzi shot went viral, Jungkook in an oversized black hoodie, Jin in a navy jacket, both trying to blend in at an upscale West Hollywood cafe. Fans began to realize this wasn't a spontaneous reunion. There were patterns. Their paths, their timing, even their silence felt orchestrated. It became clear they were hiding something, but not from fans. No, they were protecting it. Whatever it was, theories escalated. A secret subunit? A documentary series filmed guerrilla style? Or, as one popular fan thread suggested, the possibility of a surprise announcement involving not just Jin and Jungkook, but the rest of BTS gradually reassembling piece by piece under the radar, with the US as ground zero for their global return. Insiders close to HYBE wouldn't comment. But one detail slipped through the cracks. Hotel staff at a 5-star luxury resort in Malibu reported an unusually tight security lockdown for an entertainment party of Korean origin. Among those seen entering the restricted floor, not just Jin and Jungkook, but a familiar shadow many claimed was J-Hope. If true, this sighting would mark the first time 3 members of BTS have gathered in private since military enlistments began, and then the real emotional earthquake hit a tweet. Not from HYB, not from any member, but from an anonymous user who posted a 7-second video taken behind a private sound stage near downtown LA. The clip was blurry, filmed through a narrow gap in a fence. But there was no mistaking the 2 figures in frame. Jin standing in front of a mic, eyes closed. Jungkook standing behind the glass of the producer's booth, nodding silently with his eyes misty. The caption? Only one line. They're doing this for ARMY. That one sentence shattered silence across platforms. Weverse flooded. Twitter erupted. TikTok hashtags exploded. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't just about a reunion. It was about purpose. In the days that followed, emotional accounts from background crew, Uber drivers, and studio technicians started surfacing. One particularly heartfelt story came from a driver who picked up Jin after a late-night session. He didn't speak much, the man said in a now-viral podcast clip. But he asked if I liked music. I told him yes. Then he said, "We're making something for people who stayed with us when we weren't there." He looked tired, but in his eyes, there was something strong. Like he had something to prove. For the ARMY, millions strong across the globe, this was more than enough to believe. Because that's what this fandom has always done. Believed. Even when the world doubted them, they stood with the 7. Now they stand again, watching as Jin and Jungkook pave the path. But what is this path really leading to? A few clues have emerged, each more compelling than the last. First, studio leaks. A well-known mixer in Los Angeles let slip in a private forum that he worked on a 2-track emotional mini project featuring one of the greatest harmonies I've heard in K-pop to date. The phrasing was vague, but another user followed up by claiming the harmony was between a baritone and a tenor, matching Jin and Jungkook's vocal profiles exactly. Second, visual project rumors. Multiple production assistants confirmed that a Netflix-style documentary crew had been trailing Asian celebrities for a raw, unseen look at fame and identity. Filming reportedly began 2 months ago and intensified the moment Jungkook landed in California. While names have not been officially linked, the coincidence is too pointed to ignore. And finally, the Fallon mystery. The Tonight Show's social media team posted, then deleted, a cryptic teaser featuring a purple spotlight, a microphone, and the words "back soon." It was accompanied by the hashtag late night legends. To the average viewer, perhaps meaningless. But to ARMY, the color purple is sacred. And legends? There's no question who that's referencing. Emotions now run high. Fans have taken to social media to share personal memories, moments BTS helped them through depression, grief, isolation. One user posted a video montage of their own healing journey, soundtracked by Epiphany, paired with a heartfelt note. "Jin helped me find myself when I felt invisible." I can't explain what it means to see him walk beside Jungkook again. It's hard to articulate the weight these 7 men carry, not just as artists, but as symbols. Symbols of hope, resilience, and transformation. They were the soundtrack to a generation's pain and joy. And now, Jin and Jungkook are quietly scripting the next movement in that symphony, and yet, through all the mystery, the emotional charge, the swirling rumors, there is one question that cuts deeper than the rest. Why now? Why choose this exact moment? Amid silence, global uncertainty, and the fragmentation of BTS's full presence, to reunite in a land far from home. Perhaps because silence itself is a stage. And in that stillness, every step, every glance, every note becomes magnified. And what we're witnessing now isn't a return. It's a transformation. Jin and Jungkook aren't just reuniting. They're redefining. What we're seeing isn't nostalgia, it's evolution. They're not stepping back into old roles. They're stepping into new identities. Grown men, survivors of the spotlight, carriers of legacy, bearers of stories yet untold. And maybe, just maybe, when the curtain finally lifts, when the mic is unmuted and the lights dim to the first piano note, what we'll hear won't just be music. IT will be a message. To those who waited, to those who believed, to those who never let go. And in that moment, somewhere between the beats and the silence, the world will finally understand. BTS was never just 7 boys, that IT was a promise. And Jin and Jungkook just took the first step in keeping it. But as the world leans in closer, hearts pounding with expectation, another question begins to burn in the background like an ember refusing to die. What price have they paid for this reunion? Because as much as the world rejoices seeing Jin and Jungkook together again, what remains unspoken is the emotional battlefield they've walked through to get here. We talk often about what it means to be famous. But rarely do we speak about what it means to carry millions on your shoulders. Every heartbreak, every anxious night, every personal struggle silenced so the music can speak louder. Jin, the oldest, who bore the responsibility of protecting the group's spirit during the most fragile years. Jungkook, the youngest, who was told to smile while growing up under an endless spotlight. For them to meet again, not as pop stars, not as performers, but as brothers in an unfamiliar land, it means more than we can see. Sources close to the situation revealed that their reunion wasn't decided overnight. In fact, it may have taken months of negotiation, secrecy, and above all, trust. HYBE, known for its strategic media machine, has reportedly been hands-off during this meetup. A shocking shift in approach that suggests this reunion isn't about marketing. It's about healing, about reclaiming something. What exactly they are reclaiming, no one can say with certainty yet. But behind closed doors, those who've seen them together in LA speak of warmth, of jokes in Korean whispered in green rooms, of Jin brushing a strand of Jungkook's hair aside during a break in filming, not for a camera, not for a fan, just because that's what big brothers do. And that's the part that's cracking people open. Because while the story may have started as a mystery about secret projects and surprise comebacks, it's evolved into something more powerful, a story of reconnection. Of the fragile, messy, breathtaking human bond between two people who've been through war together. The war of fame, the war of distance, the war of time. Meanwhile, fans across the globe are responding in kind. In Seoul, a mural has appeared overnight in Hongdae, depicting Jin and Jungkook walking side by side, silhouettes bathed in soft lavender light. In New York, ARMY organized a flash mob with signs reading, "Thank you for coming back." In Brazil, a radio station suspended its top 40 rotation for an hour and played nothing but BTS's most emotional B-sides. The world, it seems, is holding its breath, not just for a song, but for a moment. For validation that what they hoped